You do a lot in astrology. We did the Lionsgate. But what kind of coach are you and why?
Thank you for asking that.
Yeah.
I think that for me, coaching is essentially coaching myself 20 or
Hmm.
10 years ago and what I needed at that point in time. So I had a spiritual awakening that took time, but it was also fast moving at certain points in time. And when I was in the what you could refer to as the dark night of the soul, I felt like I had no one, no one to talk to, no one to
Um,
relate to. And I felt like everyone around me, they weren't really where I was. And I was wondering if I was going crazy or if they were going crazy. And I start seeing all these things happen. So now at this point in time, I really want to be there for other people who are going through the same thing. And I feel like
hmm
there's so many people that are going through this right now. The spiritual awakening where you start to see that there's more to this world than we've been told, right? And you start to dive into your own shadow. You start to kind of question all of your belief systems and everything starts to open up within you. So I want to be there to make that journey shorter for the people who are experiencing it now because I know how hard it can be and I know how beautiful it is on the other side once you get guided through there and all the joy, the hope, the gifts, the people that you get to meet, you like attract new people into your life as other people are disappearing. So yeah, I would say that I'm kind of like a spiritual energy coach.
Okay. No, I love that. And uh, you stated some beautiful things there because when you're going through that awakening, like
Hmm.
you're almost doubting yourself of, am I going crazy? Am I the only one that has felt like this? And then to not have a guide or a coach to help you understand what you're going through and what the process is, to be able to coach around that is beautiful.
Thank
So
you. And you
yeah.
also, I sort of didn't answer your astrology part because
Hmm.
for me, the whole journey has been about learning how everything is interconnected, right? And how our energy is interconnected with astrology, with numerology, with
Yeah.
energy, with shamanic practices, with Reiki, like all these modalities that we have out there. Essentially, I think they get integrated into each individual in different ways. And I
Hmm.
like to use different healing modalities and energy sensations that I get from the current astrological constellations, shall we say, or how they are in the sky. Like I'm kind of tuning into that and getting information. So and I also work really tightly with my spirit team to when I'm healing people. So in coaching sessions, I'm also healing people, right? I'm constantly
Yeah.
reading their energy and sending healing energy to them as well. So it's kind of this multidisciplinary container that I create for people in order for them to step through their own transformation and come out beautifully on the other side.
No, that's wonderful. And then what can people expect, like once you've guided them through, like how long does that take? Is it
Mhm.
like a process? Is it multiple coaching sessions? And then I guess after you answer that, how long it takes, what will they see afterwards?
Mhm. Yeah, so I definitely do one-on-one sessions, but where I see the biggest change, the biggest transformation for people is an 8-week coaching program that I've developed that kind of I channel through my guides and it involves like meditation and channeling, but also meeting live. And
Hmm.
that program goes through all these kind of archetypal phases and pieces that we're moving through. Because remember, this is not personal, right? It feels
Yeah.
personal, but the whole collective is experiencing the same thing. And when I was experiencing it, I felt it personal too. Like, oh, this is only happening to me, right? But now I look around and see that it's happening to so many people, and we go through these different steps, right? So we have the steps, we have the system, but definitely coach on like an individual basis. So whatever the person needs at the time, we adjust. But at the end of the cycle, the 8-week cycle, you'll have moved through like blockages, shadows, inner child work, and then move into reclaiming yourself, reclaiming and remembering. I call it the Remember program. Remember who you are, remember your divinity, remember your purpose, remember your mission, and remember your vision. And at that point in time, you're then ready to totally recreate your life. And you're going to feel like a different person and you're going to feel a different energy. And all of a sudden, things start to open up for you, whether it's health, relationship, abundance, right? In all areas of
Yeah.
your life, because you're vibrating differently than when you started before.
No. Where were you? Where were you when I was going through my things?
Thank you. Yeah,
Seriously.
where was I when I was going through these things, you know?
No, and it's like for those that don't know, it's everybody's and I don't know if you touched on this, everybody's spiritual awakening is different. It's triggered by something different. I don't know if you want to talk about that because mine was it's usually the darkness of hell, right? The
Yeah.
where you're going through such a difficult time. Mine was the transition of giving up alcohol and everything around that, but it could
Mhm.
be a lot of different
It
things.
could be a lot of different things. I believe that, I think the Buddha and Eckhart Tolle say it very similarly, and to what I believe, it's like you need suffering until you no longer need suffering. And we have different ways of suffering, right? We have alcohol, like you said. We have
Hmm.
working too much, using Netflix as avoiding, and we have our diseases, we have like all of our sufferings are created so that we eventually will start to look at them, to look in the body, to look at our thought patterns. And that's all they
Hmm.
want. They're like, hey, I'm over here. So it can happen very differently. I believe for Eckhart Tolle, he almost woke up overnight, right? He like
Yeah.
realized and it was like boom, and he just totally had a full realization. I would say that's pretty rare. What's most common is that you have a piece of a realization and then you kind of start your journey and you start your shadow work, you start your, dark night of the soul that you were talking about,
Yeah.
you start your inner child work, and piece by piece, you're reclaiming yourself essentially. And that process can take a long time. For me, from sort of when I woke up to the realities of the world, has been over 25 years. So
Okay.
I think that for everyone, it's going to be a different scenario, but it definitely involves some level of suffering. And
No,
that
it's
level of
funny.
suffering is an ignition point for your
Yeah.
awakening.
So you brought up Eckhart Tolle,
Mm,
and how yes, his was it was quick, right?
yes.
As far as and that's how like for some people with alcohol, that's spontaneous sobriety. Like
Right.
all of a sudden they don't want to drink.
Yep.
And it's like a light switch just went on,
Yeah.
like a flick of a switch, and all of a sudden they just give it up,
Yeah.
or they don't go into the dark night of the
Yeah.
soul.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, there's not been, I don't know anybody that's done that, but
Yeah.
I've heard stories about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So with your coaching, how is it different? Like I've spoke to so many different coaches on different subjects, and
Mm,
how are you different from others in the
mm.
same field?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. I think that, I've also done many different modalities, so I know that we need different things at different point in our life too, but in order to create true healing, we need to express ourselves through talking. We need to be heard. We need to pay attention to our energy and our system and our thought, our thought process, and we need to dive deep. Like we need to go to that inner
Yeah.
child. We need to kind of anchor in our own wisdom. So what I do, that maybe some other people do as well, but I provide that container of safety where you are allowed to fully express yourself at the same time as you're reclaiming your energy body and you're reclaiming yourself. So I think that if, let's say we just go to a therapist and we talk, right? Then we just talk and talk and talk, but we're not really getting anywhere. Or we go to a massage therapist and we try to release our shoulder that's, stiff, whatever.
Hmm.
That provides like a temporary release, but the true work that you need to do is so much deeper than that. And so the depth that you're going into yourself is the amount of awareness and consciousness that you can expect to expand on the outside. So I believe that's the difference. Like I really go deep with people. I really go to their core wounding, and then we bring ourselves back up again as a completely new phoenix out of the ashes, so to speak, right?
Yeah, I love that. And also, it's so funny. Some people, in the coaching world, you got to have a niche. You got to have a niche, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then you've got to target a certain, like your perfect client. And I don't really think like that. And especially with you, like you just said, you go to a therapist for this, you go to a massage person for that. And it's like you do so many different things that you've kind of like rolled it up into one, like a little one-stop shopping coaching, with astrology and the diving deep and the inner child. And
Mm.
um, I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we haven't even talked about like the shamanism aspect of things.
Yeah.
So I'm like deeply involved in reconnecting to the earth, like, right? All the
Yeah.
sort of the elements, the basic things that we need. We need to allow ourselves to sing. We need to allow
Yeah.
ourselves to just be with nature. We need to allow ourselves to just kind of reconnect to that inner, how the sun is moving, how the moon is moving, and how it's affecting us. So all
Yeah.
those things, it's like we're bringing ourselves back into the future. It's like
Yeah.
we need to go back in order to go forward. And there's so many lessons that I think are there for us when we connect with nature and plants and animals and
You're
start to
speaking my
fully
language
open.
now.
Yeah, I know. And, just the wisdom of feathers, the wisdom of animals. And I believe that at this point in time, all of our like clair senses are turning on, right? Our clairvoyance,
Yeah.
our ability to channel, our telepathy. And in order for that to happen, your channel needs to be cleansed and you need to be grounded so that you can reach really high. And so that's the aspect that I also bring forth in here. And I love that part of it. It's like my favorite part.
No,
Bring me a drum and I'm there, right?
I don't know. Did I ever show you my little tongue drum that I have right here?
Ooh, I like that.
I love it. It's
Yes.
one of my favorites. I keep all my little musical instruments on this. It's almost like a lazy Susan, but it's up on my counter. So people, when they're
Nice.
sitting at the counter, can either color on something or do a drum or kalimba or whatever's sitting up
Yeah.
there.
I love
But
that
that,
because that's just expressing yourself in the moment, right?
yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
and it's also a stress relief. I feel that, and it also opens up conversation too, right? Instead of like having, when people come over here, I'm not offering a glass of wine anymore, right? I do have it. They can have
Yeah.
it if they
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
But with this sitting here, it's usually people are like coloring
Hmm.
or playing on the drum while we're having a conversation instead of
Hmm.
sipping. It's kind of just a shift in a habit. So.
Yeah.
No,
Beautiful.
I loved everything that you spoke about, and that gives me a lot of clarity on, who you are as a person, what your passion is,
Mm.
and of course, what you coach around.
Thank you so much, Erica. I appreciate
Yeah,
your questions. They're really beautiful, and it's I had to kind of dig deep in order to just fully express everything because I think as part of our multidimensionality, we're all of these different things, right? So just to
yeah,
bring them together is easy and it's hard, but we're all unique individuals, and I think I want to bring forth that uniqueness in every person, the reason why they are absolutely gorgeous and perfect just the way they are, and all the gifts that they have, and all the beauty that they have. It's like no one else on earth is just like that particular person, right? And they're going to start to
yes,
collect different things and bring into their own reality. And they're going to be this perfect puzzle piece that fits into the large grand puzzle. And so that's why I think why I'm passionate about it, because we're all spreading that beauty, kind of like, waves on the water, and each person
mm-hmm,
affects the next person. And as a person is waking up, they're going to affect other people as well, just energetically. So if we can be there to support each other, that's
yeah.
just really excited about that.
No, I love it. Thank you for sharing all that.
Thank you.
Now, where do we go to find you?
Yeah, you can find me on my YouTube channel,
Okay.
Bree, a drop in the sea, or you can
Okay.
reach out and my email, or you can go to my website. They're all the same, and
Okay.
yeah, and Instagram too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say Instagram as well.
Hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank
That
you.
was great.
Yeah. Thank you, Erica. Thank you for
You're
having me.
welcome.